I have been trying to record all day. Stuff kept getting in the way, and also Finley took my chair. Now that I am finally recording, I have an attention-hungry Astrid in my lap. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, I was going to initially start this video off, ignoring all the cat stuff, I was going to start this video off talking about how we were revisiting a figure that we looked at previously, but a different version of it. And then I did some checking and realized I never actually did a video on this mold on the channel at any point. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I've never made a video on the Transformers Prime First Edition Optimus Prime mold, so we're doing that now. But as you can clearly see, this is not actually that figure. Astrid, please keep your face away from the camera. This is the APC Toys version of that figure, and it is obviously in Nemesis Prime colors. Otherwise, why would we be talking about it this month? I had the First Edition Prime mold for a little bit. Some stuff happened, long story, and then I got rid of it. And then APC Toys put out their version, which is basically the same figure, just a new head sculpt, which I would argue is way better. And better paint, basically. More accurate paint. Then they did a bunch of other versions, as you would expect from a KO company. So they had like shattered glass and stuff like that. And of course, they did a Nemesis version. And I never bought it. You okay, honey? I never bought the Nemesis Prime that APC Toys put out because I wasn't collecting Nemesis Primes at the time, because this was several years ago. Just to kind of put a little bit of a timestamp on that. Never bought it at the time. Then once I did start collecting Nemesis Primes, I couldn't find this thing anywhere. It just vanished like a fart in the wind. For many years now, I've been doing a search on eBay, sometimes multiple times a day, for Nemesis Prime listings. And in that entire time, I've only seen this figure come up twice. I'm pretty sure what happened was the person bought that initial listing just to get the sword and then turn around and sell this figure. I'm fine with that. It's a little ashamed to not have the sword, because it was a pretty cool looking sword from what I can remember, but as you can also clearly see just from this angle of the video, I do have the two guns that he came with. I also have the tiny Jack figure, but we're not going to be looking at that because this is more about this figure, and also it's Jack. He really is more at home next to RC. All of that extensive and unnecessary preamble aside, here we have APC Toys' Nemesis Prime version of First Edition Optimus Prime. And it is the First Edition Optimus Prime mold. If you're not familiar with it, it is a fantastic mold, and it's great. It's wonderful, and there are more than a couple, I think, Optimus Prime figures that came out after the fact that actually borrow some of the engineering tricks that this figure pulls off. You are making this so difficult, Cat. We'll see when we get to the transformation, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that this guy does that I feel like is sort of so good they had to use it multiple times again in the future. But right now we're just looking at the truck mode, and the truck mode looks great. This is kind of exactly what you want from a Nemesis Prime version of Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime. That's so many primes. It's mostly done up in black plastic, but then there's a lot of really nice silver everywhere, like for the grille and front fender. All of the wheels have silver in the rims, also the step on the side there, smokestacks, obviously, the bit, the visor bit, sun blocking bit, whatever it is, up top, and the guns, but we'll look at the guns more later. But then in addition to that really nice silver, you also have the dark red for the windows and the lights, which I think it's kind of... This isn't ideal for me personally. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they went with red, and I don't mind the translucent plastic because it doesn't seem like the pieces are entirely made of translucent plastic. It's more that it's like set in, so like you don't have to worry too much about brittleness. But the problem is it's a really dark shade of red on black, so you just kind of lose it a little bit. I feel like a brighter shade, maybe even a bright pink, would have made it stand out a lot better, but this is what we got. But, you know, it is red, so it works. It's just, it gets lost a little bit. What does not get lost is this extremely lush metallic turquoise that they've got almost pinstriped around certain parts, like the wheel wells in the front and back, along the hood, along the whatever that thing is called up top. Really nice paint on this thing. Oh, and painted taillights. Hooray. It looks good, is what I'm trying to get at. And as you can see, you can mount both of the cannons that this figure comes with on the back, which I appreciate. Not as much as I appreciate just how weirdly compact and clean this mold is. Because underneath, yeah, you've got like the visible robot legs, and you can kind of tell that those are the arms up front here. But then, once again, going around to the back, that covers up very nicely. That hides the head and all that other junk. And it's just really cool how this whole thing comes together. And I'm just going to do a quick size comparison so we can move on to the good stuff. But here it is with the Siege mold, a version of the Siege mold. So you can get a general idea of how big it is. Honestly, I don't remember if the APC mold is any bigger. I don't think it's upscaled. I think it's just a copy of the original mold with a better deco and like a different head. Although I don't think this one has a different head. I can't be sure. I know it's the non-Nemesis version came with the unmasked head. But for a Nemesis Prime, I think the faceplate is the way to go. Anyway, you can see, yes, it's a roughly Voyager size in terms of vehicle. And Cat, you are just not going to make this easy. Okay. All right, now as I start prepping this guy for transformation, hopefully I can do this without... Oh, okay, she's leaving. Good. As I'm getting ready to do the transformation, I've got a coffee, got a Patreon, links to both down at the in the video description as well as at the end of the video if you want to support the channel. Otherwise, like, comment, share, subscribe. That's also quite handy. Now, to transform this guy, going to first pop off the guns. They just peg into these little peg holes here. You could also peg them into the thing in the center there, but I like having the peg holes here. And now to transform this guy. First, we're going to peel off the roof. That just pops up and then comes back around. There you can see the head that all this is covering up. So this comes back. Just leave that like this for now. These panels on the side here, they unpeg from the sides. It's actually the smokestacks that, let's see if I can actually show this. The smokestacks peg in right here. So you want to unpeg those, and then you can swing them up on these armatures. And that gets those out of the way so that we can bring the legs down. And once the legs are brought down, we can actually finish transforming them. First thing you want to do is take the trailer hitch and pull it up, because it actually tabs down into this other leg here. And then once you do that, you can pull the legs apart. There we go. Pull the legs apart. Pull these apart. Though I find it's easier to like slide, but do that. And now this is pretty cool. This whole thing comes down and actually pegs into the shin. Now on this one, I think because it's a KO and used, this was a little bit damaged. I had to cut away a little bit of plastic there to get it to actually tab in properly, but it seems to work just fine now. That pegs in there, and then this folds back around to give you a foot. And on this side, almost the same thing. You just want to take this piece here and fold it in first. Then this can come down, tab into the shin, and this folds down, and then you've got legs. Very simple, but also very clever. Now for the really wild stuff that is going to be pretty, I think pretty familiar to anyone who's familiar with those Studio Series molds I was talking about before. The grill kind of pulls away a bit, but mostly you want to separate it from the center. And this whole thing will swing up. You kind of want to make sure that the grill gets around this assembly here. But this comes up, and the wheel well will swing in just a little bit to, make room for this. Also, while we're doing this, I'm just going to bring the head up now to make sure it doesn't get caught up in here. Now, the front, the hood section will untab from just below the windshield. Tabs in very securely. And then swing down. This is looking very familiar, isn't it? And this will untab. The Decepticon logo I forgot to mention. That is a sticker. I don't remember off the top of my head if it came like this or if the person who owned it before me applied it. I cannot recall. But regardless, this all splits apart. And now there are these, you can kind of see this brownish plastic here. It's a separate armature. You want to bring these out because that'll give you the room you need to come up. This whole thing swings up. Now, with all of this stuff out of the way, we can rotate the waist around. That just swings into position. These can fold up, and we'll just bring these back down for a sec. So these come in and they kind of tab into place. They don't hold super securely, but they're fine. So those swing in. Now the wheel wells will swing around and peg into the insides here. And now these can come back up, and these will just sit here. That's something that did kind of annoy me with the original version of this mold. I feel like they really could have had these bits be a little bit more secure in robot mode rather than just kind of floating back there, but it's clean enough. It gets the job done. So anyway, I'm going to split all of this apart, and while we're doing that, we can rotate the arms down. This bit here, it's on a double hinge, so you kind of want to push it in a bit. And then this comes up the rest of the way. And with this up, now these will swing in, and these pegs will go into the hubcaps, or rims, or whatever you want to call them, for the front wheel wells that are now embedded in the shoulders. And this one, at least, I think it's just because of, it's used, it's a knockoff. You kind of have to adjust these a little bit after the fact, but I think that's just mine. I don't think that's something that's going to be common for all versions of this mold. So with that done, I'm going to rotate forearm 180 degrees. This panel actually untabs from the side of the forearm. So that untabs, swings out, and as that swings out, this panel will swing back. That'll allow us to flip up the fist or hand, and then this swings back in and around, and it will tab in to the inside of the forearm. You can kind of see the slot there. That tabs in like that, and there is one arm. Other arm, same deal. Rotate the bicep 180, untab the hood section, bring it up, and then swing it 90 degrees, flip the hand up, and then bring the entire hood section panel back around so it curls around the forearm and tabs in. And can bring down the shoulder pad. And there we go. That is first edition Optimus Prime's transformation. It's pretty much the same for any version of this mold you get, and it's an amazing rendition of Prime. It's a very clean backpack for, everything that goes on. Like I said, it would be nice if these were a little bit more secure, but whatever. The molding on this is fantastic. It's not super covered in greeblies, but it's from, it's the Transformers Prime figure. It's that rendition of Optimus Prime. It's not going to be covered in greeblies. But I feel like they kind of nailed everything. And this is not just, I'm not talking about APC, I'm talking about Hasbro and Takara when they made the original version of the mold, because as much as I love this figure, as happy as I am that APC did a Nemesis Prime version of it, they did not design this. The initial design of the figure is just fantastic. Again, the molding is great. And this particular version in the Nemesis colors is delicious. I would have preferred maybe not using this strangely brown plastic for things like the elbows, shoulder joints, fists, and these little strips in the knees. I'm sure there are reasons for it, but I do feel like it would have been better if they used black. Oh well. It doesn't blend in, but it's close enough in tone that I feel like it doesn't scream, "This is wrong." Definitely could be better, but it also could be a lot worse. What can't be better is all of the stuff that's fantastic on this thing. Like all of the paint in this mode that you don't really see in the vehicle mode. I mean, you get that turquoise, that metallic turquoise, that absolutely lovely metallic turquoise on the rear wheel wells that are on the sides of the shins now, or sides of the lower legs. But now you also get some really nice silver toes, silver thighs, silver midsection. You've got actually a little bit of silver and turquoise in the chest for the lights, the fake lights that are supposed to be, I think, like the front of the truck. And then also this really nice turquoise and silver combo in the chest here, the silver around the faux windshield, the red. Here the red looks good because it's in front of a silver painted piece. So because it's in front of silver, it's much brighter. But you just don't have that luxury with the windows in the truck mode. You also get some of that really nice metallic turquoise on the shoulder pads and the stickers on the sides of the shoulders. I'm pretty sure those were added by the previous owner. I don't mind that they're there. It's probably something I would have done myself, though I might have chosen non-white background ones. Maybe do like just the like clear white outline ones, because I think that looks really cool on black. Anyway, again, this is fantastic. It's a great mold, and I love it. The head is, I believe this is the same head that comes with the regular first edition mold. I don't think there's anything new about it as far as molding goes, but of course the paint is spectacular with that black plastic, the silver accents everywhere, and then all of the, again, luscious metallic turquoise. Unfortunately, the head on this one is pretty loose. Like, it'll hold position, but you can see it's very wiggly. But it does hold position in most positions. As far as range goes, it doesn't go to the side that much, if at all. You can kind of look up. Okay, you can look up, but if you try and look up just a little bit, it might fall back. But you can look up a decent amount. You can't really look down. Can rotate 360 degrees. And for the rest of the articulation, the arms go full 360. They do go in and out. You got to move the shoulder pads out of the way, but they do go out. You got biceps rotation, a slightly over 90 degree bend at the elbow. Are the wrists? Yes, the wrists do rotate. You do get a waist swivel, but as you saw during the transformation, the actual swivel is towards the back. So if you rotate the waist, it does look a little bit weird. And the further back you rotate it, the weirder it's going to look. But you can get some decent slight rotation out of it. And the hips can go forward to a little bit past 90, back to pretty much 90, out to almost 90. You get just above the knee swivels, which is fine. I don't mind that at all because it gives you the same effect as an actual thigh swivel. But anyway, you can bend the knee 90 degrees, and as you can see, the thigh swivel works like the above the knee swivel gets the desired effect for a thigh swivel. I hate it when you bend the knee and it just rotates the shin. That just doesn't look right. And then for the feet, you do get a little bit of forward tilt, and you do get side-to-side tilt. These you can tilt a little bit to the outside even. Not bad for a figure that's, I don't even want to think how old at this point. And for the accessories, I don't have the sword. It looked cool, but I don't have it. But I do have the blasters, and these are just, as I understand it, duplicates of the blaster that the first edition mold comes with, but it only comes with one. Here you get two. And here it is black plastic that has been painted silver. You can even see a little bit of that metallic turquoise in the center there, like along these bits along the barrel. I think that's pretty darn cool. And because of how this original figure is designed to work, when you peg these into the hands, they actually peg down pretty far so that it kind of looks like his hands have transformed into the blasters. I liked it in the other versions of the mold too. This is an excellent Nemesis Prime that was a just absurd pain in the butt to get a hold of, but I'm glad I finally got one. Size-wise, is pretty decent size. I mean, Legacy Scourge... Legacy Scourge is kind of tall for a Voyager, at least compared to the Siege molds. A little bit taller than the Siege molds, so roughly in that ballpark for height. Maybe slightly taller than Santa Prime, but definitely looks bigger. and is way bigger than Timeline's Prime, though I guess that's to be expected because this guy, from what I understand, is really more of a deluxe. A deluxe that they're charging basically $30 for. I'm not horribly mad about it, but I do feel like maybe this box set with Starscream should have been $50 instead of $60. I'm sure there's some reason for it. Just because Reactivate Soundwave, way bigger than Reactivate Soundwave. And I've got stickers on Reactivate Soundwave now too, and he's so good, and I will just keep banging this drum. The whole reason I'm bringing him in for a size comparison for this video is because I want to keep banging this drum. That Reactivate Soundwave is a fantastic Soundwave figure. He is a lot of fun, very posable, he looks awesome, and with the repro labels, he looks even more awesome. And oh, what the heck, let's do one more. Bring in an equivalent of Commander Class Optimus Prime, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I mean, the equivalent of. Obviously, this is not Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. We're going to be looking at this guy next, but I believe this is the same size. Not that I put that much stock in figure size most of the time. I don't tend to care about scale that much. I just want the figure to be cool, and this is very cool. Like I said at the beginning, it was kind of a pain in the butt to get a hold of this guy, but I'm glad I finally did, because I knew this was a great mold because I owned it a couple of times over, and I really liked APC's take with the added detailing and stuff. And to finally have it as a Nemesis Prime is so cool. And I've wanted this for so long, and it's been nice to finally get a hold of one. Very happy about that. But anyway, that is going to do it for APC's version of First Edition Nemesis Prime. You all can feel free to let me know what you think of this figure or this mold in general. I don't think there's a single person out there who actually dislikes this mold, but I could be wrong. There's a chance. But whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Thank you everybody for watching, and, well, I already told you what the next video is going to be, so I'll see you all for this guy.